Celebrating 10 years of trailblazing in ground support, Exceed marks a decade as your leading partner in ground support equipment leasing. At the forefront of both short-term and long-term leasing solutions, Exceed adapts to your unique operational needs. Whether you're ramping up for peak season or planning for long-term growth, we provide the right equipment to keep your operations running smoothly. This anniversary, we renew our dedication to empowering your ground operations with efficiency and innovation. With Exceed, you're equipped for success today and prepared for the challenges of tomorrow. Exceed, driving excellence on the ground year after year. Explore more at exceedgse.com.
This is Brad Compton.
This is Luke Brown.
This is Jeff Barrett.
This is Tessa Fasen, and you are listening to the GSE Podcast.
All right, welcome to a special edition of the GSE Podcast. I'm Matt Weitzel, and I'm here with Max Gosney. How you doing, Max?
I'm brilliant, thanks, Matt. And once again, real pleasure to be with you on the pod. Thanks so much for having me.
Yeah, no problem. So the last time we spoke, it was actually October of 2023, right before the GHI annual event. And we did a panel live on stage and put that up on the podcast. And that was a huge success. And I appreciate your help.
And
on
it was, I was delighted. It was something different to try, running it as a pod episode with you. And we had a great lineup there with, had Jen, Valentine. We had a brilliant sort of selection of experts from across the industry. And it was really good chemistry on the panel. We got some good discussion going. So we were delighted.
Yeah, we've had a ton of great feedback about that episode and one of our most listened to. So really appreciate you taking over the hosting responsibilities. And so what have you been up to since the annual?
Well, yeah, like yourself, we were just discussing, it's been incredibly busy, and I think the whole industry is moving at pace, which is wonderful for us all, given where we were sort of 3.5, 4 years ago with COVID. So we had a mega event there in Lisbon, and thanks to all of our supporters and delegates, exhibitors, airlines, handlers who came along. So we actually were just shy of 1,000 attendees, which was an all-time record. We had 70 exhibitors in the hall, more meetings than we've ever held before, and it was a real feel-good factor, and there's so much business being done, and that really fed into a busy, successful, and sunny GHI annual in November in Europe. So we were delighted with that, and it's kept us very busy. And thank you to everyone who came to the event and supported it. The objective for us now is to build on that for this year for Barcelona, having come so close to the magic 1,000 attendee numbers. We want to get there for December this year in Barcelona. Grow the show, make it more relevant to people. And it's a very special one for us this year because it's the 25th. So it's our silver anniversary annual.
Yeah.
Started at 99, and we want to mark that occasion. A lot of celebratory activity. More details are going to be released. But just sort of say thank you to those that have been there and supported it many years. Some people have been going since 99, but many for 10 years or more. And we want to come up with some initiatives to thank those guys and also showcase how far the industry has moved in the last 25 years, which is a long spate, how we've moved forward in terms of GSE, in terms of airport operations, ground handlers. I wasn't involved way back then. I think I was at school still, and there's a huge amount of change in our world since those early days. And we want to reflect on some of the high points, as well as looking forward to what it might look like for all of us in the next sort of 25 years. Some of the things we'll talk about on the pod, and I'm sure in the Americas event, developments in autonomous GSE, sustainable equipment. It's very exciting to think where we will go next.
Yeah, for sure. And actually, it's funny because I just recorded a podcast with Brad Compton. Yeah, you know him. In his dad.
Yes, and he was on our panel, of course.
Yeah, of course.
The man who coined sexy pushback.
That's right. Exactly. Yeah, and then his dad, Pete Compton. And Pete Compton was the former VP of sales for FMC, which is now Oshkosh, formerly at JBT. And so I had them both on the podcast to kind of talk about how things have changed in the last 25, 30 years or whatever in ground sport equipment. And so to your point, things have changed a lot. We kind of talked about what has stayed the same and what has changed. And we're going to launch that on Father's Day. So that'll be a special Father's Day podcast with Brad and his dad, and kind of going through the changes that have taken place and some of the changes that haven't taken place within ground sport equipment.
No, I'm looking forward to listening to that. I was caught up with Brad in Kuala Lumpur, and you'd mentioned you'd done the record, and the fact that it's like so many people in our industry, isn't it? That it's a family affair, and the aviation, if the father or the mother has had a career in that sector, it kind of tends to flow through to sons and daughters. I think, Brad's got his children of his own, so maybe there'll be a next generation of Comptons.
That's right. You got to have a Compton in the industry,
It wouldn't be right without one, I feel.
So then I also haven't announced that I'm also doing one with Luke Brown from Malahan and Pat Brown that used to be again with FMC JBT for years, and I think he's still in the industry. So we're going to record that here in the next few days.
Oh, brilliant! That's a really clever idea. I like that. Fathers and sons and mothers and daughters for Mother's Day. But the fact that if you've gotten into aviation, I think that probably enthusiasm carries through and people see what it's really like, and then following in the footsteps of their parents and coming to work at airports and in the GSE industry, it's great.
Yeah, it'll be fun. So just teasing those episodes a little bit. But how did that?
And we couldn't. You mentioned, Brad, and I think the last time I was on, we were talking about the alongside all the networking and the conference content at the GHI annual. We of course previewed the football tournament. Obviously one of the main events, and unfortunately for Brad and Willie, those guys were on the losing team. And once again, Lars and the FC Vestergaard ran off with the trophy. But it was a very keenly fought contest, and they got very close, the Team Textron this year. So
what was
commiserations.
the score?
I'm sure they'll be back. We finished at 4-2.
Okay.
A couple of late goals.
Oh, wow.
But it was, Willie's, particularly, I think he burns to take that trophy home, and I'm sure he'll be putting them in training camp ready for Barcelona on home turf.
They got to start training early this year, yeah.
Yeah, going to start training early. But it was, very good fun.
Now, did you play?
I did.
And how did you do? How'd you, rate yourself?
Midfield. A generous 6 out of 10.
6 out of 10.
Run the midfield engine.
I think I just heard Sophie yell in the background 4 out of 10. So I don't know who to believe.
So. I think it would be more like a 3. From the team. But football was the winner. We had a lot of fun, and it was great to get the guys together. With the branded kits and.
But the one you want to win is the 25th anniversary annual.
Oh yeah,
that's the one you want to win. Who cares about the 24? You know what I mean? Like
exactly.
We're moving on here. We're going to the big fish.
We are. What we're thinking is, the merchandising opportunity, a bit like the Super Bowl. We get some halftime entertainment in, and make it. Yeah,
you got to have that. Yeah,
yeah.
Let's think about who we're going to put at that halftime show for sure.
Well, yeah. We'll have to see whether Taylor Swift's in town and fancies upset or something.
She would love to do something like that.
Budgetary constraints might hold that one off. But
I love it.
We'll see. Watch this space.
So, how did GHI Asia go?
GHI Asia was a really satisfying one. It was great to have the entire Asian audience back. I mean, really, that's the first time we've been able to attract delegates all the way from the China and the Southeast Asian Peninsula since 2019. So it has been a whole 5 years. We had the event in the year prior in Dubai. There were still restrictions in place, but this year such a feel-good factor because the guys like Cathay Pacific, Air China, Shanghai International Airport, they were able to attend, and you just had that real demographic back in town across the region, and a sense that after a long, painful COVID slump, that the industry is rising again, lots of contract discussions, lots of new equipment, really, really felt good. And we had some great conference discussion. Again, challenges with skills. It's across the world, isn't it? And attracting people into stations, keeping hold of them, that loomed large. And there was a lot of excitement about next year's Asian. We're off to Da Nang City in Vietnam. It's a new location for us. And I think there's a real sense of, people are excited about going somewhere completely new. Asia will be 1 year on, 1 year stronger. And look out for dates on that. And we'll hopefully intending to grow that event again from sort of 350 beyond the 400 mark and support the development of the industry in that region. So really, really happy with how it went.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, and I think Brad was there. Was he on stage for that as well?
Yeah, Brad was on stage, and then again, he had some excellent presentation and very relatable content. Illustrating some of the challenges in the market right now, and that kind of dealing with that capacity that we're seeing, the capacity constraints, the huge number of orders, volumes. How you feel that as a GSE manufacturer. So it was a pleasure to have him back, and some really engaging content that he brought across.
Good. So, what about GSE Expo Europe? So,
the big one. GSE Expo Europe.
You got a big one coming up this year, and it's going to be a great event. Why don't you talk a little bit about it?
Yeah, of course. So this will be the second GSE Expo Europe. We debuted the show with the team at IEMA. This is really we work in partnership with the IEMA team on delivering this event. Held it in Paris in September of 2022. Got a huge buy-in from the audience, from GSE manufacturers and from operators of equipment, airports, ground handlers, airlines. And its strapline really says everything you need to know about the event. It's by the community, so it's by the team at IEMA, working in partnership with us, and it's for the community. So those guys know what is important, the issues around sustainability, autonomous vehicles, safety. They're experts in their own backyard as to what matters, and they craft and help build a show that caters to those needs for their customers. You can see, I think we're up to sort of well over 130 exhibitors, leading equipment manufacturers already registered for Lisbon. It's on the 17th and 19th of September this year. Where else are you going to find that kind of breadth and scale of
That's
GSE
unbelievable.
suppliers?
Yeah.
And they're bringing kit. You can come and see it. There's a demo zone. You can come and watch it. Not only can you see the kit up close, you can see it in action. The manufacturers will talk you through some of the features as that happens. It's a really interesting, exciting vibe. And we've got a great convention centre there in Lisbon. The Phil, lots of interesting stuff going. We'll have an innovation zone as per Paris in 22, but we're going to expand on it, looking at some of the pertinent topics in the industry, autonomous vehicles being one. Going to look at the adoption of things like hydrogen, telematics again, robotics. We're going to invite some of the leading innovators in those areas to host roundtables. And as a user and operator of that kit, you can come to the show, you can learn about those areas, deep dive talks. You can go and see the manufacturers, see the kit, talk to them, understand what's going on, see the demos, and essentially get everything you need from your 2-3 day stay under one roof, rather than try and trawl around the world, meeting various different suppliers, and which is quite a laborious, difficult process, compiling out information. Just come and see it all. And credit to all of our supporters, the team at IEMA, because ultimately these guys, I suppose, on a blank piece of paper, you look at them, they are competing against one another, but that spirit is set aside for this event, where they say, no, we're coming together as a supply chain to work together to put this show on, so that all the customers can see all of us and advance the course of GSE and innovation. It's a really worthy, inspiring thing.
Yeah, put together the best show possible, for sure.
Yeah, and work together by the community, for the community. It's what it's all about, and everyone then is benefiting from that partnership. You can register for free. You can do that now. We launched a couple of weeks ago. We're up to 327 registered attendees, which is up over 100 on where we were at for the launch show. So we're expecting bumper numbers. We had 3,500 through the door in
and
Paris.
That's in September, so they're only going to go up from here. Yeah. We can't guarantee it. The chances are nice, sunny weather, touching wood in Lisbon. For sure.
We have an outdoor area as well as an indoor area where we will have that demo zone. And now that the event has established itself as a kind of, that one-stop shop to discover GSE innovation, new equipment, we've got the existing audience, and we're going to try and build and attract new delegates, particularly. Okay, it's got Europe in the title, GSE Expo Europe, but this is a global show and remit, and we really want to get delegates in from that recovering Asian market. And we're looking to procure and upgrade their fleets, Americas, Africa. The audience base is global and international for this event, even if it's held in Europe. And that's what we're looking 2 years on from Paris and the edges of COVID. Coming out of that, we've got a much clearer landscape to attract those customers in. So please go GSEExpoeurope.com or contact me, max@groundhandling.com. We'll get you registered. Come and see what's going on. More details are going to be ongoing as we get closer to the show. Yeah, and ourselves and IEMA welcome you to come along and discover some equipment innovation and find out what's going on in the industry and make some connections and support the cause.
Yeah, for sure. And then I'm hearing rumors, and I don't know if they're true or not, but are you planning on launching a podcast to kind of talk about the GSE Expo?
I can confirm those rumors as true, but we're sort of standing on the shoulders of giants in following your podcast, Matt. So we are. I know we've been talking, and you've been a great help to us about how we go about delivering engaging content, and you've built a really successful audience, and your number one podcast out there in the industry. So we want to show in any small way kind of emulate how successful GSE Podcast has been, and just create a preview show for our customers, attendees, manufacturers who are exhibiting to talk about what they're doing at Lisbon. Imaginatively, I think we're saying the GSE Expo Europe podcast show. So we'd love to have you on as a guest, superstar.
Yeah. Yeah, as long as you can afford me. Yeah, that'd be great.
Well, we're talking to your agent at the moment, and hopefully we'll be able to come to an arrangement for that. But yeah, the idea is to interview members, exhibitors, talk to some ground handling, airline, airport attendees, talk to the team at IEMA, preview what's going on, talk about some of the issues we want the show to cover. So innovation, we want to talk about sustainable kit, whether that's electric, hydrogen, SAF, other sources. And we're going to kind of have the true stars as well, the members of my team at GHI. So we're bringing a different member of the GHI team on as well to talk about, whether it's the marketing with Sophie, whether the operations side with Kerry or Libby, whether we look at, the innovation zone and the delivered sponsorship with Alice and George on the exhibition side. So we want it to be quite a fun, insightful discussion, just previewing all this stuff that's going to be happening in Lisbon and getting more people along and excited about joining us. So watch this space and hopefully we can speak to our bank manager and get that appearance fee through for you, Matt. And I'm sure ratings will soar if we do.
I think it's a fantastic idea. So that's the reason I wanted to talk about it on this podcast because, you and I will have a future podcast, I think probably before it launches. So we can just kind of talk about that and tell people where to be able to find that. So they can go out there and find out like what the latest is of the GSE Expo. They can listen to it when they're on their flights and things like that. It's always great to have some new content to listen to while you're flying around the country, seeing your customers and stuff like that. So you'll be able to provide that content to them and we'll make sure they know where to get it. So I will be.
And I think, what you've done brilliantly is yes, you get some learnings from your show. There's some really serious content on there, but you also, it's fun to listen to and you kind of get that rapport with your guests. So we want to make it, insightful, but also an enjoyable listen. And you really, hats off to you. You've done that so successfully.
Yeah, we try to find a balance. So hopefully it's working. But all right. But I mean, the whole reason that we did this podcast was to talk about GHI Americas, but I've been waiting till the very end to do that. Another podcast secret that I can teach you to keep the customers or keep the listeners listening.
Keep them guessing.
Yeah, keep them guessing to when we're finally going to discuss it. So let's talk about GHI Americas. I'm very excited about that. As you know, I've said on this podcast many times, I'm a big fan of that show. And we're doing it again. This is the 8th year.
That's correct. Yeah, 8th Americas. We're off to Toronto, to the Sheraton Centre. Really excited about. This is a growth event for us. It's been booming since 2018, 2019. Gone from 200 up to 300 now. 450, 500 plus in Miami a couple of years ago. So the market has really got behind the event, and we're so grateful for their support. And numbers are looking really strong for Toronto. We're tracking well ahead of where we were for Punta Cana at this time last year. Almost 350 delegates with 8 weeks still to go. So thank you to everyone who's coming along. We've got a really great lineup there. On as you say, we're really excited about doing the session. We're looking at sustainability, the electrification of the America's Apron for our dedicated panel session, which will feature as an episode of the pod. And we've got a great lineup on there. I say electrification. We'll look at electric GSE. We're going to look at, other hydrogen, SAF. We'll look at hybrids and how ready the America's supply chain is and what needs to be done amongst different stakeholder groups to really drive the adoption of greener kit, both in North and Latin America. And it'd be great to have you there, Matt, on stage, which we weren't able. I had to do a very poor substitute in Lisbon, but to
it'll be both of us, though. I mean, I don't know if the world can handle both of us, but we're about to find out. Yeah.
Yeah, indeed.
No, I think it's already. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I was just going to say that just hot off the press, we've got confirmed panelists. We're welcoming back Brad Compton. We spoke about earlier. Textron. We've got Marty Graves, Director GSE Maintenance at Air Canada. Josh Parkin, who's representing Oshkosh, Aerotech, and then more guests lined in the pipeline. I think with David Farias at Swissport, we're just confirming this morning. So it's a really all-star lineup and representing different supply chain groups, because ultimately, we all need to be in unison if we're going to drive and speed the adoption of more sustainable kit and do it in a mutually profitable way for all stakeholder groups, right?
Yeah, I agree. And it's actually something that I speak about on the podcast. Every single interview goes to electrification and infrastructure. And now we're going to be able to get all of these stakeholders at the same place, at the same time, talking about this subject on stage in Toronto. And I'm very excited about it to see what everybody has to say and see if we can't quite figure this thing out for everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. Because
I'm sure we'll solve all the world's
everyone's
problems.
interested in it. Yeah, it's a cause that people want to get behind, but it's working out a way, I guess, to do it so that it makes it possible to do so in partnership with other groups of the supply chain. Who pays? I mean, let's get to the number of it. I'm sure we will in the debate, but who's going to pay? Who's going to fund it?
There's going to be plenty of topics to discuss.
Because everyone wants to talk about it. Everyone's got good aspirations, but when the bill comes, who's picking it up?
Yeah, this is going to be a 4-hour special episode of the GSE podcast. It sounds like there's going to be a lot of topics to cover.
I think your job is to shut me up. And
okay. I'll see what I can do.
No, we'll see what we do. But we'd certainly, we are currently booking. It's a really great time to book because we've opened a one-to-one meetings planner last week.
Yeah,
so diaries are filling up. So definitely recommend that anyone interested gets involved now, so they get the best opportunity to get their meeting invites accepted, register for the various sessions we've got going on. And we've got a block of special rate hotel rooms there at the Sheraton Centre. But, the longer you leave it, the more you risk not having the opportunity to get one. So
it's a beautiful hotel. I was looking at the pictures. I'm very excited. It seems like a great venue. And then also I was looking at the one-to-one meetings. A lot of executives are going to be there from ground handlers, airlines, things like that. So the attendees that are coming, or the delegates that are coming, is really top notch.
Oh, thank you, Matt. And we work hard. Team works hard. Alice in that area to make sure that we get the right people, the caliber of attendee who has the buying power, that is the decision maker, because that's what you're kind of investing in as an attendee, alongside the content, alongside the customer service we pride ourselves on, is getting in front of the right person and making best use of your time.
Yeah, I definitely think that's happening, and we can confirm that is happening. So, and then what about the dinner? What do we have scheduled for? What is the dinner on Tuesday night?
The dinner is actually on the Wednesday.
Oh, Wednesday night.
Evening.
Okay, sorry.
Wednesday evening, and we are looking to go to a brew house in downtown Toronto.
Had you heard rumors that the GSE people like beer? Is that the rumor?
Played the hedging game, I think, on this one, that we thought that there'll be a good possibility that they would. But it's a functioning brewery, and we've got a hired area. It used to be, I believe, a locomotive house, rail house.
Oh wow, that's cool.
Your trains, so which still retained the kind of open, the brick style in the hall where we'll be having the dinner. We've got outdoor areas that have a great view of the Toronto city skyline, CN Tower. Hopefully get the weather. So it will be very atmospheric, and you'll be able to try a selection of, it's a microbrewery, so some great beers on offer. Also non-alcoholic beverages, wines as well for those who don't like beer as much. But it'll be an opportunity to cut loose, have some fun, and just host a successful event. And as you know, sometimes the best conversations tend to happen after you do the formal one-to-ones and you're in the relaxation at the dinner.
Well, you get to see those people. Afterwards. Yeah, you get to see those people after the one-on-one. You've already had a one-on-one with them on Tuesday or Wednesday afternoon or something. And then you get that follow-up with them, and you have something to talk to them about. And it's a fantastic opportunity to network. And I really love those events. I mean, I remember we had one at the Panama Canal. We were down in Panama. Yes. That was crazy. I never thought I'd get a chance to visit the Panama Canal, so that was really cool. And then we had
I recall that one. That was great.
Dinner on a beach. I mean, you all are just constantly one-upping yourself, and I'm really excited about the brew house. That sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it, and you can find out more details at the website, americas.groundhandling.com, or again, just drop me a line, max@groundhandling.com, and we can supply some more information. But it's about the experience, isn't it? Like you say, and providing a nice ambience for people to relax, enjoy the evening, and hopefully discuss a bit more business as well.
I think I'll know that I really made it when they have changed my email to only matt@exceedgse.com. I don't have the kind of power you do, Max.
Well, I'd like, before people think my head, you can see me on camera, the head is filling up the room with my giant ego. We have a, uniform. So all of the team at single name.
Oh, you got single names there.
I wish it was just not contractual.
Oh, well, that
just
okay.
Max. But,
all right.
No, we have that, which dates back to the business set up by Tim and Jean. But it's quite nice. I think it represents the fact that it's a bit, we are informal. It's like a family, so we're on first name terms, right?
I like that. And the thing is, the reason that I would want it is obviously because my last name's a nightmare, and having to tell people that it's matt.weitzel@exceedgse.com, they're likely to mess that up every single time. So yeah. But I think I should petition for that at work. Don't you think?
I think you should. Mm-hmm. I think you should. Yeah. I think with the success of the podcast, I think you can, you've got the gravitas and I think I can leverage that. So, yeah, I think so.
Well, we're going to try it anyway.
I think you could just say M.
Yeah, just M.
Exceed.com.
Yeah, no, I know. Maybe we'll just go with a symbol like Prince or something,
Oh, yeah. Why not?
I like that. So, what else haven't we covered here today?
Well, I just a reminder of dates for the GHI It's America's 25th to the 27th of June, and we'll be doing the panel on sustainability, electrification of the Americas apron on the 26th, so the Wednesday in the conference room from.
Oh yeah, we should
I think
tell
we're in the
them,
afternoon, so 2:00
okay.
till 3 o'clock on the 26th of June.
That's when everybody can come see a live GSE podcast, which is everybody's fantasy. So there you go.
Exactly.
Wednesday at 2 to 3 p.m. You can see Max and I on stage. We'll be signing autographs after.
And if the huge crowds mean you can't get into the room, then Matt, you'll be working on the release of the recording.
Okay.
I'm sure in the sort of days and weeks afterwards, but I know you have to do a lot of work there to get these podcasts out. But as soon as possible, I'm sure in after the conference closes, it'll be available on
yeah, but it doesn't mean
website.
You can't show up to the conference. You still got to show up to the conference, and even though you can listen to the podcast afterwards.
It's one of those I was there when moments. So
that's exactly.
You
just want to be there. Yeah, I understand that. So what else do we have going on?
So then I say for us, it's a big focus on GSE Expo Europe. So 17th and 19th September with the team at IEMA after the Americas. We also have really excited about the African event, which is moving to Nairobi in Kenya this year. We had a really strong return event last year in Cape Town. So we'll be working on that one for mid-October. And then 25th GHI annual, dusting off the best suits and the 25th pins. And as I say, announcing some celebratory activities and some innovative ideas to sort of toast 25 for our industry. That takes place on the 3rd to the 5th of December. And goodness me, it'll be Christmas again, Matt. We'll be
I know, right?
Dressed in our warm jumpers and
already.
stockings, and then another year goes by, doesn't it? But
yep.
It's great fun. We've got a brilliant team here, and we're really excited about what's going to be a mega year for us, putting on and supporting the growth of the industry by providing a quality-driven platform where the whole supply chain can get together and make best use of their time and spur those new business opportunities.
Yes, I have one last question about GSE Expo, and then we can kind of wrap this up. So is there any booth space available still, or is it all sold out?
Funny you should ask that, but we've had to have a really strong surge in demand. It's been consistent since we opened the floor plan back at International GSE Expo in Vegas back in September last year, and we saw you there. We've had to add, 133 exhibitors. We've had to add about 900 square meters of extra indoor space on our floor plan to service the high demand. So booths have been made available, but I would say getting there fast because they're selling really fast. George is mega busy on our team, fielding those phone calls and inquiries, because people want to be there. So yes, there are booths available. There are different configurations. There's still one or two outside opportunities, but definitely, now's the time. Get in now.
Okay.
Because we're starting to ramp up the promotion, the marketing activity. We'd love more and more suppliers to come on board and help us deliver an even bigger show for the community than we had in Paris 2 years ago.
Okay. Sounds great, man. Well, thank you so much. And I'm very excited about the launch of your podcast, and we'll obviously share it on our channels here, and then also try to do a preview before that comes up about GSE Expo and kind of expose everybody to that, and really excited about it.
No, thank you, Matt. And really great to work with you, and thanks for your help with it. We'll look forward to having you on that podcast. And thanks again for letting me come back on. Always a pleasure to join you on the show, and congratulations on the work you're doing.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Max. I appreciate it. This has been another episode of the GSE Podcast. Thank you for tuning in to this episode of the GSE Podcast. We hope you found it informative and engaging. If this episode resonated with you, please share it with your colleagues and peers in the ground support equipment community. Your support is invaluable to us. We'd appreciate it if you could take a moment to rate and review our podcast. Your feedback not only encourages us, but also helps expand our reach within the GSE community. Keep an eye out for more episodes as we continue to explore the dynamic world of ground operations, bringing you the latest trends, insights, and stories from the industry. Thank you for listening to the GSE Podcast. Until we meet again, stay grounded and keep pushing forward.